Part 18. Consequences. Later that evening, when the nephew showed up, he found his car with the hood up and the guts lying in the street. He was outraged and out of control. He started yelling and screaming so loud at his uncle that the deacon's wife came outside to see what was wrong. And then, before she could reach them from her front stairs, she saw his nephew retrieve a bat out of the car he drove up in, and in what seemed like slow motion, she watched him raise it and come down right on his uncle's shoulder. Greg scrambled to get away, but the nephew caught him again on the leg. By this time, it seemed most likely that a neighbor called the police because they drove up during the assault and took the nephew away. They called an ambulance and Greg was taken to the hospital. When Sheila arrived to the emergency room, he began to sob about how the nephew hadn't given him a chance to finish. He said he needed another day, but the nephew wouldn't hear it. She would not admit to herself that she knew that the fact was he could not have fixed that car in 100 more days. Again, he was in over his head. And then, all of a sudden, in a twist of delusion like a flash of lightning, which numbed areas of intellect and intuition shooting through her brain, she saw him as pitiful and decided that he was her man and that no one was giving him a break. That night, he began to cry and tell her that he had problems because his father was never in his life and that his mother treated him like a slave. He went on and on until both of them were crying. Her mentality was affected by that lightning in her brain, which could be diagnosed as a nervous strain, which had enhanced her delusion and allowed her to decide that she had to help him and take care of him. She allowed him back into her bedroom despite the threat of being thrown out of the shelter apartment because she decided that this man loved her so much. She rationalized that all this misfortune was not his fault and that they were married for better or for worse. And he smiled when he woke up next to her in the morning.